Hi, my name is Dan Faber. This is my partner, Dan McDicken, and we're licensed insolvency trustees, and we work in the bankruptcy and insolvency area. And our firm specializes both in consumer proposals and in bankruptcies that people file assignments in. And I'm wondering, Dan, what would you think are the considerations a person should have in deciding whether to file for a consumer proposal or for an assignment in bankruptcy?
Well, I think a lot of clients that we meet with, their first comment is the last thing I want to do is file a bankruptcy, right? Like, that's it. But sometimes they may actually need to file an assignment in bankruptcy. So for those people that have, secure employment and they can make a monthly payment on time consistently for up to 5 years, then a consumer proposal may be a viable option for them. However, if an individual is self-employed or they're experiencing intermittent periods of unemployment, then a consumer proposal is probably not the best choice for that individual, because the last thing they want to do is default on those payments.
What would you say, though, about the stigma attached to bankruptcy these days?
There is definitely a stigma with bankruptcy. I think a lot of people believe that to be kind of a point of failure. But bankruptcy is really just a word. And you really have to look at the financial commitment that has to be made to complete a bankruptcy or complete a proposal. And really what you're striving to obtain is that fresh financial start. So how can you best achieve that?
When I'm dealing with clients, often if we're discussing bankruptcy, they're worried that they're going to lose their house, or they're worried that we'll take their Chesterfield or their car from them and they won't be able to have transportation to get to work. And do you deal with that very often in your...
Oh, absolutely. That's a common perception that clients have coming into our office. They don't want to lose their house. They don't want to lose their car, but there is legislation available that protects that for most of our clients.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we can do, because you and I have been doing this for so long and have so much experience, often we can structure the bankruptcy so that perhaps if they have an asset they might lose, they can repurchase that asset through the bankruptcy process and retain it.
Yeah, so I found with dealing with clients, they retain quite a few things in a bankruptcy, like a pension or an RRSP or an RESP, and usually their home. But the advantage of the consumer proposal is that the client doesn't surrender any assets. And so if they have a little bit of surplus income, perhaps the proposal works better in those cases.
Oh, I would agree with you. And another real advantage of a consumer proposal is that the debtor can prepay the proposal to exit that restructuring plan much quicker perhaps than in a bankruptcy.
Right, because it's interesting. A lot of people, when they come, they say, well, bankruptcy lasts 7 years when they're speaking with me. But that's not true. Bankruptcy is usually 9 months or 21 months, and the credit rating might be bad for a while, like 7 or 8 years, but the bankruptcy itself lasts a lot shorter period of time.
That is a really common misconception. A lot of clients think the bankruptcy is going to affect them for 7 years. But the reality is, if their bankruptcy is 9 months or 21 months for a first-time bankrupt versus 24 months or 36 months for a second bankruptcy, it's still shorter than the 5 years that a consumer proposal takes. So the debtor can begin to reestablish their credit as soon as they're discharged from bankruptcy. Whereas with a proposal, they're not going to be able to begin reestablishing that credit normally until the 5-year process is up, or unless they prepay it early.
But on the other hand, a lot of people, because the sense or the stigma attached to bankruptcy. They want to pay back their debts. And with a consumer proposal, we look at their financial situation, we consider all their obligations and such that are necessary, like accommodation, food, and taking care of the children. But we manage a budget that affords them the opportunity to pay back part of the debt, and they feel good about paying back part of the debt.
Oh, absolutely. And you hit on a very key point, and that point is affordable. In a consumer proposal, the payments are affordable. So it's a win-win, not only for the debtor, but also for the creditors, because the creditors will receive more money through a consumer proposal than they would in a bankruptcy.
Just a little bit of a specific question, more particularly about income tax obligations. Can they be included in a bankruptcy in a proposal?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The tax debt, whether it's personal income tax, if it's GST, if you're a business owner, or source deductions, if you're a business owner, those liabilities can be included in both a bankruptcy or a consumer proposal. The problem with a consumer proposal is that the debtor cannot have debts exceeding $250,000, excluding the principal mortgage on their residence. So if you've got a business owner that unfortunately has $200,000 in GST debt and another $100,000 in source deductions debt, really a consumer proposal wouldn't work for them, and they may have to look at perhaps filing a Division I proposal.
Right, and the reason I bring it up with income tax debt is I'd like the viewers to know that if we're dealing with income tax debt in their situation, we want all the tax returns all filed up to date and ongoing into the future to stay up to date and to make their obligations to CRA.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of the rehabilitation process.
Absolutely. So it depends on the situation, whether you're going to file an assignment in bankruptcy or to file a consumer proposal. But in whatever your situation is, our firm specializes in all of that, and we'd be very, very happy to help you with establishing a good, solid plan for your future on financial administration.
To learn more about our other forward-thinking debt solutions that could be out there for you, please reach us at faber.ca or call us toll-free at 1-877-944-1177. Click here to learn more about Faber Forward Thinking Debt Solutions.